Hello friends, welcome to the session on microcontroller 8051. In this session, we'll be discussing about data transfer instructions for the microcontroller 8051. In this session, we will see what we mean by data transfer instructions, what are the different forms of data transfer instructions for the microcontroller 8051, and we will see some examples how these instructions can be used in the assembly language program. Friends, as you know that you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, and do subscribe to the channel to see many other videos on the various topics of the subjects of electronics and computer science. So let us start the session with the question what we mean by data transfer instruction. We know that 8051 is a microcontroller unit, and this unit can be widely used in embedded systems. Whenever we want to make the use of this unit in any application, then it is necessary to feed the instruction to the microcontroller. There are different types of instructions available for the microcontroller 8051, and these instructions can be classified into different categories such as data transfer instruction, arithmetic instruction, logical instruction, branching instruction, subroutine instruction, and bit manipulation instruction. As far as this session is concerned, we will be discussing our first type of instruction, and this instruction is being called as a data transfer instruction. So we know that any instruction is a kind of a binary pattern, and this binary pattern is being designed to perform a specific function for the microcontroller 8051. Data transfer instruction is the instruction which is being used to move the data between the registers. So whenever we want to move the data from one register to another register, or whenever we want to move the data from memory location to register, or from register to memory location, or between the two different memory locations, then in that case, we can make the use of these instructions, and these instructions are being called as the data transfer instructions. So when we execute these instructions, then the flags are not affected by these instructions. So the instructions are used for a movement of the data, that is move the content of the accumulator A or register A to the specific register Rn, or from the register Rn to A. Also, it is possible to move an immediate 8-bit data that is being provided in the instruction itself to the register A or to any other specific register Rn, or we can move it to the memory location as well. We can move the content of one memory location to another memory location, and this can be achieved by using either direct addressing, or we can make the use of indirect addressing. We can move the contents of the external memory. Suppose some external memory is being used, so it is possible that you can move the content of the external memory to the register A, or from a register A to the external memory. And it is also possible that you can move the contents to the program memory. Also, it is possible that you can move the content to the stack memory by making the use of the push instruction, pop instruction, and exchange instruction. So there are a variety of types of data transfer instructions, and frequently we need to make the use of these instructions whenever we go on writing the assembly language program for the microcontroller 8051. So now let us understand these instructions in detail. So the first instruction that we are going to discuss is the move instruction. It is possible that we can write this instruction as move A, Rn, where the contents of Rn are being copied to the register A. So this is the source Rn, and from this source, the content will be copied to the A. and this instruction is a 1 byte instruction. So for example, when we write this instruction, and suppose the content of A is 25 hexadecimal and the content of R2 is 45, and when we execute this instruction move A comma R2, then after execution one can easily find that the content of R2, that is 45, will be copied to the A and the content of R2 will remain as it is. Another form of this instruction is move Rn comma A. That is, in this case, we can copy the content from the register A to Rn. This is also a 1 byte instruction. Say for example, when we write the instruction move R3 comma A, and suppose A or the content of A is equal to 25 hexadecimal and content of R3 is equal to 45, then one can easily observe that after execution of this instruction, the content of R3 will become 25. The content of A will remain unchanged, that is 25. There is another form of the instruction move Rn comma hash data. So in this instruction, we will supply the immediate data. The data is being supplied immediately after the hash symbol. So this data can be moved either to the accumulator A or to any other register, or it can be even moved to any other memory location. So in this instruction, the data is being immediately supplied, and therefore the data can be moved to any other register by making the use of immediate addressing. So for example, when we write the instructions such as move A comma hash 23, and suppose the content of A is equal to F5, then after the execution of the instruction, the content of A will get changed to 23. If we write this instruction in this form, move R2 comma hash 23, and suppose before the execution, the content of R2 is equal to F3, then after the execution, the content of R2 will be changed to 23 hexadecimal. If we write this instruction in this form, move 30 comma hash 23, where 30 is the address of the memory location, and suppose the content of the memory location is equal to F3, after the execution of this instruction, the content of the memory location of which the address is 30 hexadecimal becomes 23. So there are different forms of move instruction. So for example, we can write this move instruction in this form, move at Ri comma hash data. So in this case, the data that is being supplied in the instruction will be moved to the memory location of which the address is stored in the register Ri. So for example, if we write the instruction move at R1 comma hash 23, and suppose the content of R1 is equal to 34, and suppose the content of the memory location 34 is F3, then after the execution of this instruction, one can easily find that the content of the memory location will be changed to 23, while the content of R1 will remain as it is. It is also possible that we can move the 16-bit data to the data pointer register DPTR. So for example, if we write the instruction move DPTR comma hash 2300, then this 16-bit data or location address will be moved to the data pointer register. So for example, if DPTR consists of 3422, where 22 is the lower byte or lower part of the DPTR, and higher part or higher byte of the DPTR is 34, then after the execution of this instruction, 00 will be moved to DPL and 23 will be moved to DPH. We can move the data from memory to the accumulator. For this, we can make the use of the instruction move A comma direct. If we write the instruction move A comma 40, then the content of the memory location 40 will be moved to the accumulator. So before execution, if the content of A is equal to 23 and content of memory location 40 is equal to 55 hexadecimal, then after the execution of the instruction, the content of accumulator becomes 55 and the content of memory location 40 will remain 55. It is also possible that we can move the content of accumulator directly to the memory location by making the use of the instruction move direct comma a. If we write the instruction move 45 comma a, then the content of the accumulator will be moved to the memory location 45. Suppose if the content of a is equal to 23 and content of memory location 45 is equal to 55, then after the execution, one can easily observe that the content of a becomes 23 and the content of memory location will also become equal to 23 hexadecimal. We can move the content of the memory location of which the address is stored at the register Ri to the accumulator. For example, if we write the instruction move a comma at R1 and suppose content of a is equal to 23, content of R1 is 42 and the memory location 42 consists of 55 hexadecimal, then after the execution of this instruction, a will become 55, R1 will remain 42 and the memory location 42 will remain 55. It is also possible that you can move the content of accumulator to the memory location of which the address is stored in the register Ri. For example, if we write the instruction move at R1 comma a, then after the execution of this instruction, the content of accumulator will be moved to the location of which the address is stored in R1. For example, if a is equal to 23, content of R1 is 40 and content of memory location 40 is 55, then after the execution of the instruction, a remains 23, R1 will remain 40, but memory location content will be changed to 23. It is possible that we can move the data directly provided in the instruction to the memory location of which the address is stored in Ri by making the use of the instruction move at Ri comma hash data. For example, if we write the instruction move at R1 comma hash 23 and if before execution the content of R1 is 34 and content of memory location 34 is F3, then after the execution the content of R1 will remain 34 but the content of memory location will be changed to 23. We can move the content of Rn to the memory location. So for example, if we write the instruction move 60 comma R3, if content of R3 is equal to 23 and content of memory location 60 is equal to 55, then after the execution of the instruction, the content of R3 will become 23 and the content of memory location 60 will remain 23. So you can easily observe that it is possible that you can move the data between the registers, between the memory location and registers, or between accumulator and register. It is possible that you can move the content of one memory location to another memory location. And for this, you can make the use of the instruction move direct 1 comma direct 2. If I write the instruction move 55 comma 67, then the content of the memory location 67 will be moved to the content of memory location 55. So for example, if the content of 55 is 23 and content of 67 is 55, then after the execution of this instruction, the content of 55 will remain 55 and the content of 67 will also remain 55. We can move from the register which stores the address of the memory location. So from that memory location, we can move to another memory location. And for that, we can make the use of the instruction move direct comma at Ri. So for example, if we write the instruction move 57 comma at RO, and suppose the content of RO is 30, content of memory location 30 is 33, content of memory location 57 is 55. Then after the execution of this instruction, the content of RO will remain 30 the content of 30 will remain 33, but the content of 57 will be changed to 33. It is possible that you can move the content of external data memory pointed by Ri to the accumulator. And for this, you can make the use of the instructions such as move x. So x, that will stand for external, a comma at Ri. If we write the instruction move x a comma at R1, and before the execution, if the content of a is 2, 3, content of R1 is 10, and the external data memory 10 has a content of 55, then after the execution of this instruction, the content of accumulator will be changed to 55, while the rest 2 will remain unchanged. It is possible that you can move the content from accumulator to the memory of which the address is stored in Ri. For that, you can make the use of the instruction move x at Ri comma a. So here the memory is the external data memory. If I write the instruction move x at R1 comma a, and if the content of a is 2, 3, content of R1 is 20, and external data memory 20 is equal to 55, then after the execution of this instruction, one can easily find that the content of a will remain unchanged. The content of R1 will also remain unchanged, but the content of the external data memory 20 will be changed to 23. We can move from the data pointer or the external memory pointed by the data pointer to the accumulator. So move x a comma at dptr, and suppose before execution content of a is 2, 3, dptr points to the memory location 1000, and external data memory 1000 content 55. Then after the execution of this instruction, one can easily find that the content of accumulator will be changed to 55, while dptr and the external data memory content will remain unchanged. We can move from accumulator to the memory of which the address is pointed by data pointer. For this, we can make the use of the instruction move x at dptr comma a. And in that case, one can easily observe from this example that the content of accumulator and the content of dptr will remain unchanged. Only the content of the external data memory will be changed after the execution of this instruction. We can move the code byte to the accumulator. And for this, we can make the use of the instruction move c. So c will indicate the code byte a comma at a plus pc. So here, this instruction, whenever we write, then the content of accumulator plus the content of the program counter, so they will point to a memory location, and the content of that memory location will be moved to the accumulator. Say for example, if before execution the content of a is equal to 2, 3, pc contains the address 1000, and we know that a plus pc will be 1023, and of which the content is 55. So after the execution of this instruction, one can easily observe that this 55 will be shifted to the accumulator, and the content of PC will remain unchanged. We can move the data from the a plus dptr, that is the memory location pointed by a plus dptr, to the accumulator. So in this case, if we write the instruction move c a comma at a plus dptr, and suppose a is equal to 2, 3, dptr is equal to 1000, and a plus dptr will give the memory location 1023, of which the content is 55. Then after the execution of this instruction, one can easily observe that the content of a will be shifted or will be changed to 55, while the remaining two other contents will remain unchanged. There is another instruction And this instruction is being called as a push direct instruction. So this instruction will increment the content of the stack pointer by 1, and then it will copy the data at the direct address to the location that is being pointed by the stack pointer. So whenever we execute this instruction, then the SP will be incremented by 1, and whatever is the content of the direct will be copied to the location that is being pointed by the SP stack pointer. So for example, if we write the instruction push to 0h, and suppose before execution, the content of memory 20 is 23, SP suppose contains 00, and memory location 01 contains 99, and memory location 00 contains 55. Then after the execution of this instruction, the content of memory will remain unchanged, that is 23, but the content of SP now will be incremented by 1, and the content of memory 1 will be changed to 23 now, and the content of memory 00 will remain unchanged, that is 55. There is another instruction called as the pop instruction, pop direct. So this instruction will copy the data at the location that is being pointed by the stack pointer to the direct address, and it will decrement the content of SP by 1. So whenever we execute this instruction pop, then the content of the memory location that is being pointed by the stack pointer SP will be moved to the direct location, and the content of SP will be decremented by 1. So if we write this instruction pop to 0h, and suppose before the execution, this is the data, 20 has 23, SP has 01, memory location 0199 and 0055. So after the execution of this instruction, one can easily observe that the memory location content will be changed to 99. The SP will be decremented by 1, that is 00, and the content of memory locations 01 and 00 will remain unchanged. There is another instruction, and this instruction is being called as exchange instruction A, Rn, where the content of A will be exchanged with Rn. So whenever we write XCH A, R2, then the content of R2 will be copied to A, and the content of A will be copied to R2. So if A has 23 and R2 has 55, after the execution of this instruction, A will have 55 and R2 will have 23. This exchange can be written in another form also, XCH A, direct, where we can exchange the content of A with the direct memory location. Say for example, XCH A, 35. Then in that case, if A has 23 and memory location 35 has 55, after the execution, A will have 55 and memory location will have the content 23. It is possible that we can write this exchange in this form, XCH A, @RI, where the content of the memory location pointed by the register RI will be exchanged with A. Say for example, XCH A, @RO, you will find that the content of A is 23, RO has 55, content of 55 is 23. Therefore, the content of memory and accumulator will be exchanged so that A will have 33 and memory location will have the content 23. There is another exchange instruction, XCHD A, @RI. This instruction will exchange the lower order nibble of the A bits from 0 to 3 with that of the internal RAM location directly addressed by the specified register. So for example, if we write XCHD A, @RO, then the content of the memory location RO will be exchanged with the lower order nibble of A bits. Say for example, if A has 29, RO has 55 and content of 55 is 33, Then after the execution of this instruction, observe that the content of A becomes 2, 3, and the content of RO will remain 5, 5, and content of memory location 5, 5 will become 3, 9. So only half part will be exchanged. So these are the different data transfer instructions. These data transfer instructions we need to make use of in simple assembly language programs. Say, for example, we have been given a task, something of this form. We have to write the instructions to load the data to 5H to the accumulator and to the register R2. Now, whenever we want to load this data, then we can write the two instructions in this form: move A comma hash to 5 and move R2 comma hash to 5. So observe that there should not be any space over here, even though you may observe a space, but while typing the program, you need to see that there will not be any space. Also, suppose you have been given a task, something of this form, that you want to copy the content of the external data memory pointed by DPTR register to the internal data memory location pointed by RO or R0. So in that case, you can prepare algorithm. First of all, you need to load the 16-bit external memory address to DPTR. Then you have to load the 8-bit internal memory address to RO. Then copy the content of external memory to accumulator, and then copy the content of A to the internal memory. So for this, you can write the instructions such as move DPTR comma hash 3000H, then move R0 comma hash to 5H, move XA comma at DPTR, and move at RO comma A. Now let us understand, if you write some instructions and if you want to check with these instructions, then how can you check whether the instructions are executed properly or not? So if you want to check for the execution of the 8051 instructions, then it is necessary that you must have the suitable software with you. On your mobile phone, it is possible that you can download the 8051 simulator app. The one which is being shown, a sample one is being shown here. So you can download it from the Google Play Store, the 8051 simulator app on your mobile phone. Then you can open the app. The initial screen may be something like this. And then you can select the new program by clicking on this button, and the editor window will appear where you can type the instructions or where you can type the program. Say, for example, we have written only 2 lines of the instructions: move A comma hash to 5, move R2 comma hash to 5. And now once you have completed such writing, then here on this button you can click and you will find that the build menu will appear. So you have to click on the build to build the program. Once you have successfully built, if there are no errors, then you can successfully build it. If you successfully build it, then you can debug. You can click on the debug button, which is available in this button, and then you can run the program. And once you run the program, then you can easily observe that these 2 instructions are executed, and therefore our accumulator is now consisting of 25 hexadecimal, and also the register R2 is also consisting of the number 25 hexadecimal. So whenever you prepare such simple instruction programs, then it is possible that you can make the use of this simulator app. Another way is that if you are having a laptop with you or a computer with you, then you can make the use of the simulator app on the Virtual Labs website. So there is a Virtual Labs website prepared by IIT Mumbai. So you can check it online, and there also you can make the execution. There also there is an editor window. You can type the instructions or program, and you can check whether the instructions are executed or not. So thank you, friends, for viewing the session. Hopefully you have understood the data transfer instruction and how to make the use of these instructions for accomplishing the simple task of moving the data from memory to the register or from register to the accumulator. Thank you all for viewing the session.